But we are in Nehemiah 3. We are going to start in verse 1. So I'm going to give you a heads up. Everybody pay attention. I'm going to speak more Hebrew names than you've ever heard in your entire life. I'm going to read this whole chapter. It's full of guys you don't know and don't care about. They've been in the dust for 2,500 years. However, they're in Scripture for a reason, and we're going to pick that apart today. And it might surprise you how much these people here that you don't know actually applies to your life. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something a little bit different. We're going to put up the graphic. Here's the Google map of what Jerusalem looked like in Nehemiah's day. It was pretty small. It was pretty slender. This is Jerusalem, obviously, in the modern day, and the green is the size of Jerusalem in Nehemiah's day. When we go there in July, you will see some of these walls still there. And here is an artist's rendition of what possibly Nehemiah's Jerusalem looked like. I'm going to leave this graphic up there as I read this because I want you to see so much of this stuff is absolutely foreign to our culture. We don't understand wall building and what gates were like and all kinds of stuff. That red dot up at the top is the sheep gate. The sheep gate went directly into where the temple was, where the animals were sacrificed for sin. That's where Nehemiah starts, and it's going to work counterclockwise, all the gates he's going to mention, all the way around till we meet back up at the sheep gate. Nehemiah 3, verse 1. Then Eliashib, the high priest, circle high priest, rose up with his brothers, the priests, and they built the sheep gate. They consecrated it, circle consecrated it, and set its doors. That means they dedicated it to God. It's the only gate that was actually dedicated to God out of all these gates I'm going to read to you. They consecrated it as far as the Tower of the 100 and as far as the Tower of Hananel. And next to him, the men of Jericho, underline men of Jericho. So these are guys that aren't even living in Jerusalem. They're living in a different town, but they came to help out. And next to them, the men of Jericho built, and next to them, Zakur, the son of Imri, built. The sons of Hassanah built the fish gate. They laid its beams and set its doors and its bolts and its bars. And next to them, Meremoth, the son of Uriah, the son of Hakaz, repaired. And next to them, Meshullam, the son of Berechiah, the son of Meshalabel, repaired. And next to them, Zadok, the son of Banan, repaired. And next to them, the Tekoites repaired. And underline the rest of this phrase, but their nobles would not stoop to serve the Lord. Yoedah, the son of Pesach, and Meshullam, the son of Besodiah, repaired the gate of Yesanah, and laid its beams and set its doors and its bolts and its bars. And next to them, Melatiah the Gibeonite and Yedon the Marionite, the men of Gibeon and of Mizpah, the seat of the governor, circle governor, of the province beyond the river. So this is beyond the Euphrates River. Next to them, Uzziel, the son of Hananiah, the goldsmiths, circle goldsmiths, repaired. Next to him, Hananiah, one of the perfumers, circle perfumers, repaired. And they restored Jerusalem as far as the broad wall. Next to them, Raphiah, the son of Hur, ruler, circle ruler, of the half district of Jerusalem, repaired. And next to them, Jedaiah, the son of Harumph, repaired opposite his house. So some of these guys are repairing the wall that's directly in front of their house inside Jerusalem. And next to him, Hatsush, the son of Hashbaniah, repaired. Malachiah, the son of Harim, and Hasub, the son of Path Moab, repaired another section at the Tower of the Ovens. Underline all of verse 12. Next to him, Shallum, the son of Halush, ruler of half the district of Jerusalem, repaired. He and his daughters, circle daughters. Somebody had some burly daughters. Verse 13. Hanun, the inhabitants of Zanoah, repaired the valley gate. They rebuilt it and set its doors and its bolts and its bars, and they repaired 1,000 cubits of the wall as far as the dung gate. So dung gate is the lowest gate on your graphic right here. So now we've gone halfway around the city. Now we're going to work our way back north, and we're going to enclose the second half of the city. Verse 14, Malachi, the son of Rechab, ruler of the district of Beth Hakerem, repaired the dung gate. He rebuilt it and set its doors and its bolts and its bars. And Shallum, the son of Koloseth, ruler of the district of Mizpah, repaired the fountain gate. He rebuilt it and covered it and set its doors, its bolts, and its bars. And he built the wall of the pool of King's Garden as far as the stairs that go down from the city of David. So we're starting to work our way north to the right. After him, Nehemiah, this is a different Nehemiah, same name, the son of Azbuk, ruler of half of the district of Bethzur, repaired to the point opposite the tombs of David, as far as the artificial pool and as far as the house of the mighty men. After him, the Levites repaired. Rahum, the son of Benai, next to him, Hashbiah, ruler of half of the district of Keliah, repaired for his district. After him, their brothers repaired. Bavai, the son of Henidah, ruler of half of the district of Keliah, next to him, Ezer, the son of Yeshua, ruler of Mizpah, repaired another section opposite the ascent to the armory at the buttress. So that's that big corner piece right there as it starts to go to the left, up to the right-hand side there. Verse 20. After him, Baruch the son of Zaphai repaired another section from the buttress to the door of the house of Elishav, the high priest. After him, Meremoth the son of Uriah, son of Hakaz, repaired another section from the door of the house of Elishav to the end of the house of Elishav. That must be a big house. Underline verse 22. After him, the priests, the men of the surrounding area, repaired. After him, Benjamin and Hashuv repaired opposite their house. After them, Azariah, the son of Messaniah, son of Ananiah, repaired beside his own house. After him, Benui, the son of Henadad, repaired another section from the house of Azariah to the buttress and to the corner. So now we're all the way up at the right-hand side, of the northern right-hand side. Palal, the son of Uzziah, repaired opposite the buttress and the tower projecting from the upper house of the king at the court of the guard. After him, Bedadiah, the son of Parosh, and the temple servants, circle temple servants, living on the Ophel, repaired to the point opposite the water gate on the east and the projecting tower. After him, the Tekoites repaired another section opposite the great projecting tower as far as the wall of Ophel. Above the horse gate, the priests, circle priests, repaired, each one opposite his own house. After them, Zadok, the son of Imar, repaired opposite his own house. And after him, Shemaiah, the son of Shechaniah, the keeper of the east gate, repaired. And after him, Hananiah, the son of I'm working it. Shelemiah, the Hanun, and Hanun, the sixth son of Zelaph, repaired another section. After him, Meshullam, the son of Bechaniah, repaired opposite his chamber. And after him, Malachiah, one of the goldsmiths, circle goldsmiths, repaired as far as the house of the temple servants and of the merchants opposite the muster gate. So now we've made a whole big circle all the way around the city and to the upper chamber of the corner. And between the upper chamber of the corner and the sheep gate, which we've made it all the way around now, the goldsmiths, circle goldsmiths, and the merchants, circle merchants, repaired. If you have your notes, pull them out. If you came on campus, or whether you're in our one of our other venues, or you're inside the sanctuary, you should have gotten a bulletin. Inside that bulletin is my notes. Pull them out. If you're online with us, at the top of the comments section on Facebook and on YouTube is a link. You can click on that link, and my notes will come up. Number one is this. Here we go. This is called the Wall Builders. I'm going to teach you about the value of mission today. We talked about how to make a mission last week. So if you missed it, go on YouTube. You can listen to it, and it's how you know mission is important to your own life. Today is how it's actually fleshed out. And you might be surprised how many guys that you don't care about actually matters to your life in the daily today. Number one, the men rally to the mission. The men rally to the mission. After standing up against the onslaught of gossip and slander and intimidation from the surrounding regional leaders, which we looked at last week, hundreds of men rallied to Nehemiah's vision and mission. So last week we looked at this. Hey, you would think, I'm doing something for God. I should have no objections or opposition. Like God's on my side. Why would anybody oppose me? But Nehemiah is opposed by the surrounding Samaritan leaders. They go, we don't want this wall rebuilt because we don't want your people to come back here. We don't want you guys to have a home. So we don't really care what you're doing for God. We don't want it built. So they're gossiping about him. They're slandering him. They're saying stuff that isn't even true. They're threatening to write a letter back to the king. So Nehemiah is a cupbearer to the king Artaxerxes of Persia. Babylon took over Israel 2,500 years ago. They broke down all of their walls. Will you put that graphic back up, the one of the art? Actually, you know what? Put up the old one. Put up the old picture. So because it's so foreign to us, I wanted to see that this is a picture of Jerusalem in the 1800s. Obviously, this isn't the same wall as Nehemiah's wall, but I want to give you an idea of all these huge stacked stones to protect this city. And then there's gates. You got to be able to get through the wall. So the gates were built of huge, thick wood doors. And that's why when I was saying and they put it on its posts, and they put bars up. So they're creating this huge wood door that would swing in and out. So merchants, you see shepherds right there in the 1800s running their sheep in and out. Merchants would go back and forth selling their stuff. So what the Babylonians did when they came to Jerusalem, because the Jewish people decided to leave God, so God judged them by allowing the Babylonians to come down. They tore down these walls. The stones are laying in just piles of rubble out in the dirt, and they burned all the gates. So Jews, some of the Jews are still living there, but nobody has taken the task to go, let's rebuild our city. Until Nehemiah comes. Nehemiah is living in Babylon 900 miles away as the cupbearer to Artaxerxes, who's the Persian king that just defeated the Babylonian king who knocked down their walls. Babylon is now gone. Persia's in power. He's cupbearer to the most powerful man in the world. He asks him, can I go back to my homeland and see if I can rebuild those walls? His employer, boss, ruler, dictator, because he likes Nehemiah and he's such a stud and he works really hard, Artaxerxes trusts him and he lets him go. He's on a work leave, basically. And so he goes back and he shows up to Jerusalem, and there's men all around, but nobody's decided to rebuild their city. Men of action wait for a man of action to act so they can stand with a man who has something worth standing for. Listen to me. Those walls have been broken down for about 150 years by the time Nehemiah shows up. Nehemiah shows up. He's not even an Israelite living in the land. He's a Jew. He's a captive Jew under a subjugated people group living in Persia, Babylon. He doesn't even live there. And he shows up and he goes, why hasn't anybody built these walls? All the people I read to you out of chapter 3, they're all men and their sons living locally. So Nehemiah has to come from 900 miles away in a foreign land to light a fire. And what's interesting about men is that men want to be on a mission. There's something that burns inside of men that they want to go do something important. They want to go do something with their life. They don't want to just finish their life just having their life have meant nothing. That's why men create companies. Men make cities and name it after themselves, Jacksonville. Men go do stuff. They go build things. They go put up cities and walls. They go conquer countries and nations. There's something about how God made men that they love to go on mission. That's why young men go, I think I'm going to go into the military. Because they want to be part of something bigger than themselves. They go serve our country. And so there's something about men where men go, they see a mission and they go, my heart resonates with that. I want to go on that. Sometimes when you see the military marching in a parade, and there's something about men when they watch other men going to do something important, that it just resonates with them. And they go, man, that's like, they see honor there. They see respect there. They see something that's just different about themselves. While women can appreciate and maybe like a man in a uniform, there's something different about guys when they go, man, they're doing something with their life. I'm not doing jack with my life. I want to do something that matters. And that's why men struggle usually when they hit their 40s and 50s, and it's like, what have I done? And Nehemiah comes into this local area and he goes, what are all you guys doing? You guys didn't even repair your own city. And I have to show up. And guess what? All it takes is a fire starter. And then the hearts of men who are drawn to that, it starts to burn inside them. The mission of God starts to burn. And here's our first principle, ready? Men notice men on a mission. And men on a mission are hard to stop. There's possibly nothing more beautiful than a man on a mission for God. When a man goes, I'm going to go die for what I believe in. You can't ask more of a man than for him to go die for something that he believes in, than the mission that burns inside of him. And Nehemiah shows up, and none of the guys had done anything, but when Nehemiah comes, he goes, let's put together this wall. And all of a sudden, the hearts of the men of that area and their sons are drawn to what Nehemiah's doing. Look at Proverbs 24:10. Proverbs 24:10. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. This is like a truism. It's like you can think you're strong, but then when adversity hits you, if your first response, especially for our culture, your first response is, I give up. I give up. We live in a give up culture. Things didn't go my way. School didn't go my way. This relationship didn't go my way. This job didn't go my way. And so I just kind of give up. I blame other people. I become a victim, and I just blame other people and go, it was their fault. And we live in this weird, like, victim passive world. And God's asking us, man, start a fire in your heart, man. Go do something for God. And we're just like, oh, but it's just not the right time. Circumstances aren't right yet. My friend hasn't said he likes me yet. So I don't really know if it's the right time to serve God. What are you talking about? Literally, your life is fading in front of you. Go do something great for God. Who cares what your opposition is? If God is with you, who can be against you? Who's going to stop you if God's with you? If you're on your own mission, you'll probably take a digger. But if you're on God's mission, who's going to stop you? And literally, if you go die on God's mission, you win the prize by going to see Jesus anyway. Like, it's a win-win if you do God's mission. If you fail in the day of adversity, if you just give up or go somewhere else or do something else, it's like we live in this culture that isn't in it for the long haul. We bail on our marriages, we bail on our jobs, we bail on our country, we bail on a church, we bail on everything. We're just bailers. Rather than going, where does God want me? Let me run my race hard for God. And God blesses us in the race. That's mission. It's different than most of us even think about our lives. Because immediate adversity hits me, go, I give up, I stop, I'm out. You can think you're strong, but then when adversity hits, you find out in the day of adversity, wow, I'm really weak. Who goes to the gym here? 7 people. We need a lot of help at the Orchard to get in shape. What happened to all you that had your New Year's resolution? So many of us will say, I go to the gym. Where are you a member? I'm a member of XYZ gym or whatever. But when you go to the gym, do you just sit there and watch other people work out? Like, I went to the gym today. Yeah, but you got a slushie and you sat in the corner and watched everybody else work out. Right? That's literally what you did. Here's the thing. Your pastor shows up to the gym. I know I'm going to be pushing some weight. And I lay down on that bench press and I go, put them on. And they start sliding those huge plates on. And that bar starts to bend. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to bench press 500 pounds right now. The opposition to me will be crushed by these massive guns right here. So in my mind, I'm going, dude, I'm yoked. In my day of opposition, I will conquer. And then I lift it off, and boom, it comes down and breaks my chest. It's one thing to think that you're strong, but in the day of adversity, when weight starts being added to you, you find out how strong you are. Ready? You can be strong always in God. Your strength will fail, God's strength will not fail. You find out whose mission you're on when hard times come. Here it is. Look at it. Despite thousands living in the area, only a fraction were willing to sacrifice to make the mission materialize. I'm gonna break some down for you. Ready? I'm gonna alleviate a lot of your relational anxiety right now. Because many of you are like, I just don't have a lot of friends. I feel kind of bad. Ready? Let me help you. Here's our second principle. Better to have a few on a mission than many who are uncommitted. Ready? I just described to you your friend group. Listen, you think you have 1,000 friends on Facebook? You do not. There are not 1,000 people that care about your life. There are not 1,000 people that are going to be there for you when you get cancer or you feel like you're getting sick or you're going to get divorced or whatever. 1,000 people are not going to come there. You know who's going to come there? Is the people you've done life with. Real people in the real world, which is literally how a church works. If your version of church is, oh, we're just kind of shopping around to see where we're going. Dude, this isn't Walmart. If you don't like it here, cool, find somewhere else. But the point is this, stop shopping and stay. Find a family and do life with people that get to know you. Become a member of the family. Stop treating church like it's just a bunch of people that we just kind of hang out with and it's like kind of like, going to the mall. Nope. You come do life with people, they get to know you, life starts falling apart, you got people to walk alongside of you because you're part of a ministry, you're part of a small group, you're part of something. Online is a fake world. And we oftentimes put our hope in who we are based on how people like or don't like us online. Man, you straight up ugly. Unlike. And you go, oh no, somebody that I don't know and has no bearing on my life doesn't like me. I'm so depressed and angry, I'm full of anxiety. Who cares what they have to say? They're not in your life. They don't care about you. They couldn't care less. You know who you should care about, should be listening to, is the people that are walking alongside of you that actually know who you are. We allow a piece of glass to tell us who we are rather than God's word and God's people. And the only way you get to know God's people is when you start doing life with God's people. So here we go. The people that rallied to Nehemiah, it's not even all the people. It's a small section. There's probably 100,000 people living in that area that could have worked on the wall. Nehemiah shows up. He's a fire starter. He goes, dude, hey boys, why does the wall fall down? Why is it what? There's still stones in the dirt. Why isn't, in 150 years, why hasn't anybody put this together? And then they're like, I don't know. Because it's hard and heavy. And Nehemiah goes, dude, enough of that. Enough of your excuses. And he lights a fire. And he goes, are you on mission with me or not? Some people are like, dude, I'm out. No, somebody else do the heavy lifting. But there's a certain section of men that are like, let's do life now. Let's do life together. And they start to build the wall. And they actually do something in the world. Rather than just talk about it, they're actually about it. Look at this. Number one, the men rally to the mission. Both men and women can jump on a mission and be used by God, but I'm especially speaking to men. We see this over and over and over in here. A man and his sons, a man and his sons, a man and his sons. And you know what? I'm going to just speak straight up. Ready? Hey, guys in here, one of the worst things that can be said about a man is that you're lazy. One of the worst things that can be said about a man. You're straight lazy. You're just lazy. You know what that means to a man? You're useless. You're not helping your wife. You're not supporting your home. You're not being a good example for your kids. You're doing nothing rather than something. In all labor, there's some sort of reward, whether it's intrinsic or literal cash. There's some kind of reward in doing something. Ready? Let me help you. We've trained men to be passive in our culture and trained women to be aggressive. And what's happened is men have regressed, and it's the kind of men now that women hate. Like, you're so lazy. Why'd you do nothing? Because you're doing everything. I'm just going to hang out over here and watch Netflix and chill. Ready? I want to start a fire inside of you, especially men. Do something great for God. You'll gain the respect from your wife. You'll gain the respect from your kids. You gain the respect from your community. Go do something great for God. Here's what happens. You want to know why? Over and over and over and over and over and over in chapter 3, it's like a man and his sons, a man and his sons, a man and his sons. Because when you see dad doing something, you go, oh, this is what men do. Men go do the heavy lifting. Men are the ones who protect the city so the women and children don't have to live in fear. Men don't just hang out and go, I hope the women make it, because I feel pretty good about myself right now. I mean, I can whip a sword and defend myself. My wife, good luck, girl. The point is this: men are built to be on mission. When you do God's mission, it's a thing of beauty. Now watch, God's mission might parallel your mission of starting a business, of becoming wealthy, of blah, blah, blah. Awesome. Use your wealth to do something great for God then. The point is that when you do something great and you know God's with you, you can't be stopped. But be the kind of man that your sons go, that's what men do, and I want to be like that. Men serve God, men work hard, men support their family, men support their church, men support their community, men support their nation. Men, that's what men do. I mean, I got a 21, 22, I don't know what age he is, son at home. My wife was in the first service. She'd be able to tell me. I don't even know what age he is. But you know what? His whole generation, early 20s and down, masculinity is absolutely a mystery. It's lost. It's gone. No idea. I don't even know what it's like to be a man. So let me help you from God's word. If you are a husband, if you're a grandpa, if you're whatever, be a good example for your sons and grandsons. This is what men do. We go to work. We help out at church. We don't do nothing. We do something. And then your boys go, oh, I see what dad does now. I want to be like that. You know what? Oftentimes, sons will emulate their father if they're worthy of following. And daughters will oftentimes marry a dude that's just like their dad. And all the daughters in here went, oh. You'll be surprised. Because when you first meet him on like Date R Us or whatever site you go on, you're going to be like, oh, he's nothing like my daddy. Just wait till you've been around him a minute. Then you start doing those weird things your dad used to do, run around in his little white chonies or whatever while the people are around, sitting in the lazy boy or whatever. You're like, that's what my dad used to do. What are you doing? The point is this: men, be on a mission. Use your energy. Whatever you're physically gifted and able to do, go do it for God. Leads us to number 2. The people give their best. Number 1, men rally to the mission. Number 2, the people give their best. Dividing the huge workload of putting a city back together into smaller sections, Nehemiah empowered his team to use their talents to work for God. People of all occupations and social standing worked side by side to honor God and connect with each other. As the wall came together, so did the people. Here's our principle: sweat equity bonds people and connects hearts. We live in a world of online, plastic, glass world. Most of us stare at a piece of glass all day long with our thumbs doing this. Let me help you in this area. There's something about being physically with people that can't be replicated by being online, which is why online church isn't a thing. You can't do church online. You're just listening to a service. Church means get together with people. Literally, the word church means assembly. So assemble with the people of God. So they get to know you and you get to know them. That's what it means doing life together. That's what a church is, literally. So watch. Sweat equity is built around, let's go do something together. Let's go build this thing. Let's go help in the children's department. You start building community in a small group. People know you because you're working in the nursery, because some of you guys didn't stay 6 feet apart and kept creating babies over and over and over. And so you're now with a group of people that are helping out our infants. People at the beginning of their lives getting poured into with the word of God. But you get to know people. You're not in a blob of a group of people. You're with a small group of people. They get to know you. You get to know them. You work together. It's sweat equity. You rub shoulders with one another and go, man, we did something together. It's literally teamwork. It's why guys that go to war together remember each other for the rest of their lives. Guys that in the Super Bowl, they'll remember each other for the rest of their lives because they sweated it out together. It's irreplaceable. You can't do life online. You got to do life with people and be together and know each other. That's what Nehemiah did. What was previously just a scattered alliance around Jerusalem, became a united brotherhood under Nehemiah. Here's our principle. Disunity creates chaos and anxiety, but unity creates order and security. So this could be your home. This could be our community. This could be a church. This could be a nation. Disunity, in other words, nobody trusts each other, nobody wants to work together, creates just separation and anxiety, and like you start making up conversations in your head about the other person. They're a bad person when they might not even think that way. They might not even talk that way. None of those conversations might have ever happened, but you create this weird, toxic world in your mind. Rather than saying, let's do life together, let's stop being separated. Work it out. Let's talk it out. Because once everybody jumps on board, everybody's rowing the same way, man, then you can get a lot of work done. The whole city wall went up because everybody was of the same mind. They didn't have altering goals. It was like, let's do life together, let's rebuild this wall. Let's be unified. Unity is the way forward in your marriage. Be unified as a couple. You don't splinter over children, you don't splinter over money or your sex life or whatever. You stay together. When hard times come, you fight through it together. And God will bless you on the backside of difficulty. So our marriage stays together, our church stays together, our community stays together, our nation stays together because we are unified around a goal. And if it's godly, you can't be stopped. The men and their sons and some daughters, I love verse 12. This guy didn't have any sons. He just had a bunch of girls. But that didn't stop him. He's like, girls, here we go. Imagine getting up in the morning. I got to go lift some heavy stones. Girls, get up. These girls are probably yoked. The burliest girls around. You know, they show up to the field or whatever where the stones are, and they're putting these massive stones back up. And the men are like, dude, that girl will knock you straight out. Everybody, but mainly men, putting this wall back together for the sake of the people. The men and their sons were recognized by name as they volunteered their time, talent, and treasure. So I just read to you a bunch of people that you don't know and really don't care about, but I want you to understand they were recognized by name in God's word because of the work they did. They didn't just talk about it, they were about it. And God honored them. You got a guy speaking in modern Marietta Temecula. 2,500 years later, I'm uttering the names of guys who 2,500 years ago, when they were lifting blocks up onto the city wall, would have never thought some guy's teaching on them way back here. That's crazy. But that's what happens when you do God stuff. They wanted to be part of something greater than themselves for God's glory. The people unified around God's mission and gave him their best physically and financially. They worked and gave financially their money to God's work to make that city happen. And here's our principle. Great leaders empower God's people to do great things for God. About a month and a half ago, listen to me. About a month and a half ago, we were wondering how we were going to finish the ministry building, which our children and infants are packing the rest of this building right now. Packing. So much so, we may have to add a service. Don't clap. You're only clapping your hands because you don't have to preach them, okay? Here's the thing. We've only been here 4 stinking months, and we're already packing this place to the gills. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it. This is like a movement of God. If you're like, I wonder if God's real, come sit here. This doesn't happen anywhere, okay? It just doesn't happen like this. So not only may we have to add a service here in the near future, but we were wondering how we were going to get our children over to that new building. God gave us the trampoline park, but we had to build it out. It has to be remodeled. So I was thinking, man, we're going to probably be somewhere around $1 million, maybe a little over $1 million. The landed cost over there ends up being about 1.5. So I came to all of you and I said, hey, we got to figure out as a family, are we going to get that thing done for our kids or not? And I'm thinking, man, it'd be an amazing miracle of God. Because it's December of last year. I'm like, everybody's buying presents for their kids, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Jesus, if we could just get to like 200 or 300,000, like just to keep the ball rolling over there so we can like get in there by, maybe late February, early March, that'd be awesome. And I asked you, I said, I don't care if you're a single mom and can give $10. I don't care if you're a CEO of a multinational company, you can rip a 6-figure check. I go, we all need to jump on board with this to see if that's going to get that thing done. Because I can't do it. You can't do it individually, but together as a family, we can do it. If you gave to that, I don't care if it's $10, $100,000. If you gave to that, I know some of you gave for your family, but if you are an individual that gave to that, stand up right now and stay standing. If you're an individual that gave to that. And here's what I want you to see. Ready? Listen. When I asked for that, we had zero money towards that, finishing that out. Because we had already started it. We had spent that money. And I was like, God, if we could just get to a couple $100,000, that'd be awesome. I want you guys to know, and I said this in the first service too, that in a month, we raised almost $1 million. Ready? Here's the thing. Stay standing. Last December, our food pantry of our valley was empty. We filled the food pantry in December for our valley, for people that many of us struggled to know when our next meal was going to come from. We filled that thing. Not the churches of the valley, our church alone filled our valley's food pantry, filled it. It was empty. The guy that runs it goes, if you guys hadn't come by, we would have had no food for the holidays because nobody came alongside of us. We filled that thing for people that are struggling financially, for the widows and the orphans, people that came by and they're like, hey, we need some help. We helped them this last season. So on top of loving our community, everybody that's standing right now, gave to the work of God. You are like Nehemiah 3. And you are the ones that I honor. You are the ones that I want to let you know how much I love you as your pastor. And it doesn't even matter the amount. It matters that you are one of the people that said, I'm going to jump on mission and we're going to get this done. And now we almost made 2/3 of that 1.5 in a month. So give it up for Jesus, people. Ready? I want you to understand, we didn't just raise that money. We also took care of our community, took care of everybody in need. We did both, which is unbelievable. And it's because of you. And if I was writing Nehemiah 3, I would include every single one of your names, and some other dude would have to pronounce all your names 2,500 years from now. Ready? That building over there, we're still going to have to, raise the other whatever, 580 or whatever it's going to be. But I want you to celebrate this moment that we were allowed to continue there. And actually show a picture real quick. Show some pictures. Stay standing. I want you to see what you guys did. Throw some of this up there. So this is one of the rooms up there, is the 4th and 5th grade room. This is back where we eat. So there's going to be some concession stuff back there. There's a slushy machine that's going to be just for your pastor. This is our check-in. That's we just got the countertops in, or the counters in today. This is the children's thing. We saved this whole children's area, and there's trampolines in the back for your kids. What other church gets a trampoline park? Talk about a mission that's blessed by God. We have a gym. We're going to have a full half-court gym and a full volleyball court and a pickleball court that I will destroy you in. Keep going. And then there's a high school room, a middle school room that holds about 200 kids apiece. They're on each side of one another. Yeah. So I'll be giving you more updates as we get closer. But I just want to take this moment and love on you and appreciate the godliness and the direct desire you had to bring God glory when you didn't have to. You caught the mission, and literally the mission's happening in front of your face. The walls are going up. In our case, this place was a dump. This was a dying furniture store. We took a dying furniture store and a dying trampoline park, and now it's doing something great for God. We are literally putting the walls up with our sweat equity and the finances because you gave to it. And I just want to thank you and let you know I love you. And let you know the reason that I continue to be a pastor here is because of the miracle of this place and the miracle of the amazing people of God that do amazing things for God here. So thank you. You can be seated. Yeah, give it up for them. Lastly, number 3, I close with this. Ready? Number 1, men rally to the mission. Number 2, the people give their best, and you have given your best to God, and I thank you for it. And I encourage you, if you didn't get to jump on with this next, let's close the rest of this gap. So if you haven't given anything to it, this next little time to close the rest of this gap as we move into the future, it'll be your opportunity to do that as well. I close with this. The stones begin to move. With a vision to bring the exiles back home from Babylon, and a mission to repair the walls, Nehemiah's plan is started. The high priest and his brothers started at the sheep gate first and consecrated it. And this gate was connected to the temple where animals entered to be sacrificed for sin. And here's our principle. Men of God should humbly set the example of working hard for God. Hey, ready? I'm gonna touch on this again. Pay attention. Look, I'm almost done. If you're a Christian at work, people shouldn't know you as the person who tries to get out of work the quickest. People shouldn't have to go, I have to pick up on her slack. Because here's the problem. When you start inviting people to church, they go, you're lame. Like, literally, I have to work overtime because you don't do your job while you're getting paid. It's amazing how work ethic makes Jesus shine. Men of God, women of God, should be the people at work that people go, you set an example. I wish I could be more like you at work. Not, dude, you come back late from lunch. Did you take off early? You complain about everything. Have a new view of your work. I know you don't like your work, but bring Jesus to your work because people need to see Jesus in you there. And one of the greatest ways people see Jesus, I don't care if you're flipping burgers. I don't care if you're making multi-million-dollar deals. I don't even care what it is. Do it to the best of your ability. And people go, what's going on with that? Why are you actually working while you're getting paid? You'll be amazed. Here it is. Though God can do everything, can God do everything? Yep. Can God make buildings out of nothing? We don't have to give a dime? Of course. God can build anything he wants. He can speak it and it happens. Why doesn't God do that then? Because he expects faithfulness out of his people. So that rather than being obsessed with my money, I give some back to God because he gave me my money in the first place. I manage my money. I'm not obsessed with it. That's why we give back to God. God doesn't need our money, but we need to give back because it shows us who our God is. Here it is. Stones don't stack themselves. Planning without doing is nothing. You plan something, but you don't do anything is nothing. Words without work is worthless. I sure wish, gosh, this is a messy room. I sure wish somebody would come clean my room. Are you physically able? Oh, I'm physically able, but man, this is really messy. I wish somebody would come do it. No, we pick it up ourselves. Ready? Words without work is worthless. Words with work is priceless. Like, say what you're going to do and then go do it. It's having integrity in your life. Working with the stones that were already there, the wall began to go up. They didn't even have to import stones. They were already sitting there. They just needed somebody to organize it and do it. And here, I leave you with this. Ready? This is a life principle. I'm not going to get any time to dig through it, but I'm going to leave it with you. Start where you are with what you have and let God give you what you need. Stop making excuses. Oh, if I could make more money, I could X, Y, Z. Oh, if I was in this relationship, I'd be a lot happier. Stop that. Stop your excuses. Start where you are and go, God, how can you use me here and now with what I have? I don't have much, but I want to give you what I got. And then God will give you what you need as you move forward with him. That's how you run your life. Don't make excuses for the past or make excuses in the future. You make a commitment right now and go, God, I want to serve you. At my work, at my home, your stay-at-home mom, whatever it is. Do the work of God and God will bless your life.